What is the best ever built adventure bike on this little round planet we call Earth? Well, stay tuned to find out. What is the one thing that every adventure rider wants to know before buying their very first adventure bike? Or perhaps after buying their first bike and having their first ride, is the one thing they wish they would have known? That one thing is, which is the best overall adventure bike on this planet we call Earth? Is it the mighty Suzuki DRZ 400e? Well, stick around, because after watching this video you may just find yourself blindly placing your hands under the couch cushions you're sitting on, hoping to find some spare change to purchase your very own DRZ 400e, all without needing the financial permission from the other half. This bike is literally the cheapest adventure bike you'll ever buy, cost you the least to maintain, and likely outlast all the other bikes out there too. When a bike has its own universal language like the tractor, the bush pig, the workhorse, Big Bird, the yellow submarine, not that submarine, I mean this yellow submarine, just to name a few, you know you're already onto a winner. Like the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So there is no need to be a Bob the Builder Mr. Fix-It type person just to make your brand new bike actually adventure worthy. The DRZ has been pretty much unchanged since its birth in the year 2000. That's right, it has been going strong for 22 years, with basically the same design and components on it, which is one of the main selling points as seen on Suzuki Australia's website, claiming to have sold over 20,000 units since its launch and being an ultra reliable bike. Now, if all this super accurate research and information doesn't have you sold, then continue watching as I tell you my personal thoughts as a proud 6-year-long DRZ 400e owner. Imagine riding for thousands of kilometres along the outback desert roads at a blistering pace of 110 kilometres per hour, tailwind assisted at that. The engine is revving its absolute tits off and you're just waiting for the head gasket to blow, which oddly enough it never does. Or after 1 hour of riding you find yourself already standing and reaching around to scratch your own bum cheeks, because the rock of a seat is wearing away all of your butt hair. At this point you now wish you had upgraded to that $20 lamb's wool seat cover, yet 10 hours later you're still riding and smiling. Or you thought it'd be a good idea to load up the equivalent of a petrol station onto your subframe, that is really only designed to hold 2 indicators and a license plate, but then go and cross one of the longest, bumpiest deserts, all because you saw a guy like me on YouTube do it, praying the whole time the subframe doesn't snap in half. Or you come across a river that is far too deep and dangerous, yet you continue because you saw a video like this one saying the DRZ 400e can do anything. You make it to the other side of the river and to your surprise the engine is still running, even though the bike has just done its own oil change and swapped it out for water. Or you're riding into the night and you've only just realised your high beam is actually off mode and your low beam doesn't even reach the ground. But it's okay, because the piercing noise of a stock exhaust is using echolocation to get to your destination safely. Or perhaps your friends have invited you out for an enduro ride, so the night before you strip the bike back to make it as light as possible, just to learn your bike weighs a ton for such conditions. However, your bike is the only bike that didn't break down or need a mid-ride oil change. Or during an adventure ride you crash and break something on your bike, but it's okay because you're the very proud owner of 2 zip ties and a tree branch, which can effectively fix anything on your DRZ 400e. Or you've stopped at a country cafe and parked your bike next to all those fancy high-end 2-minute buttons on the handlebar type machines with their owners staring down at you, but oddly enough you know that they know you have just completed the same tracks their bikes couldn't. Or perhaps you're getting ready to overtake a road train, but have to time it absolutely perfectly, otherwise you don't have the power to pull off such a fancy manoeuvre. But you know that if that same road train breaks down, your bike can actually tow it. Now if you're still sitting there watching this video, you're probably pondering, how on earth is the DRZ 400e the best adventure bike on the same earth I'm pondering on? Well, it's simple. It comes down to one saying, which I would like to claim as being my own, but don't dare to, just in case I get sued, which I can't afford to fight because, well, let's face it, I bought a DRZ 400e. Now, as this famous saying goes, the DRZ 400e isn't the best at anything, but it is good at everything. Take a second to let that sink in. I'll repeat it. The DRZ 400E isn't the best at anything, but it is good at everything. Why buy a bike that is a front runner in one or two departments, but likely at the expense of being bad at a lot of other departments, when you can buy a DRZ 400E which will simply and easily just do it all and do it at a decent level at that? No matter where your point A or point B are located in the world, you'll have the peace of mind knowing that your DRZ 400E will get you there in one piece. Now, there can be many reasons that make an adventure bike better than others, but for the mighty DRZ 400E, that one reason comes down to this. It's a no-fuss bike that simply just works.